Difference, personal possession, depending on the substance, usually wouldn't result in a imprisonment if you're convicted. If you're convicted of sale or supply of any substance, there's an automatic jail sentence triggered in the judge's mind. There's a lot of pressure on the judiciary to come down hard on people who are selling drugs, and a lot of judges take it as a personal kind of mission of theirs to make sure that people who deal in drugs are jailed. So if you're charged with sale or supply of drugs, you've got a lot of work to do to avoid custody. It can be done, but you've got to work hard. A lot of that's down to your analysis. Again, I'm coming back to your analysis, but that's really important, as well as doing counselling and things of that nature. But there is work to be done to avoid jail. It can be done if you're willing to work hard. If you've been caught in possession of drugs, what happens next? Well, what happens next is you will be summoned to court. Depending on, no matter what the guard says to you, and sometimes people tell me the guard said there won't be a summons. There will be a summons, guaranteed, 100%. There'll be a summons to court. Depends on the quality of the substance, whether it's cannabis, heroin, cocaine, benzos, whatever it is. If it's if it's cannabis, it's under a certain value, it's going to be district court. If it's the other substances, and it's of a higher value, you could be going before the circuit court, before a judge and jury, if they think you had it in possession for sale or supply. If you're summoned to court for possession of drugs, you should get legal advice. You don't have to. You can represent yourself if you want. It's not something that pretty much any judge recommends. And in fact, if you come into court without a solicitor, the judge will ask you pointedly if you want to get a solicitor. Of course, you can refuse if you want, but it's not advisable. You should get a solicitor because they know the implications of a drugs conviction, maybe more than you do. And most judges like to see people represented because it's in their best interests. If you're represented, you're not likely to say something against your best interests. Sometimes people come into court, they represent themselves, and they blurt out something, maybe because of nervousness, that actually makes their case worse. So you should look at seriously getting yourself represented by a solicitor, yeah.